Thank you. Shalom. It's testimony time. As always, we're excited to be standing before you, presenting to you what God is doing through the hands of his prophets, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa and Prophetess Ruth Emmanuel Makandiwa. Today, we've got another amazing testimony, man of God, of a young lady who had a condition that was plaguing her for some time, for a long time. But she just had one encounter with the man of God, and everything was sorted out.
You actually see that it was just one encounter and her life was changed completely. And those are the things that you see in what our Father says, that it's just a look, it's just a declaration, it's just a word from a man of God, or just him presenting himself in front of you, and all your challenges are actually dealt with in that moment.
And to imagine that she drove all the way from Mutare for that problem, and in an instant, it was sorted out. Without further ado, people of God, allow us to call forward Rutendo Magomo. Let's give a round of applause as she comes forward. Welcome, Rutendo, and congratulations on your wonderful testimony.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much, man of God.
So just briefly, you can let us know what was the problem that you were suffering with for many, many years.
Shalom, people of God. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So for the past 8 years, I've had irregular menses. And with that, it came with so much abdominal pain. I could not stand for long. I could not sit down for long. But it was something that I just used to brush off. But it became a problem early this year in January when I started my attachment. I am currently studying a Bachelor's of Science, honors in Nursing Sciences. So I was attached at a local hospital back home in Mutare since January. And it affected me so much that I could not stand for long. I could not work efficiently as my other mates, and that affected my work.
I know you are in the medical field, like you have said.
Yes.
How would you grade the pain? You know, we use the pain scale, you know it.
Yes. So from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least painful and 10 being the most painful, I would rate the pain I was feeling at an 8.
8 out of 10.
Yes,
That's
8 out of
quite
10.
Excruciating pain,
Definitely.
disabling pain.
Yes.
Okay. So I understand that you then went to the center that you work at, and then they did some investigations on you.
Yes.
What were their findings?
The findings upon, so I first seek medical attention because I was not feeling well, so I just asked the sister in charge of the ward if I may go to a staff clinic. And upon explaining my symptoms to the doctor that was there, he then said, oh, since you're having so much abdominal pain, you might need an ultrasound scan. Upon going for an ultrasound scan, that's when the problem began. They found a cyst, a complex cyst on the right side.
So not just a cyst,
A
but
complex.
a complex cyst.
Yes,
On which organ?
on the right ovary.
On the right ovary.
Yes.
Did they tell you how big it was?
Yes, they measured it. It was about 4.24 centimeters
4.24.
in diameter.
Complex cyst, which is
Yes.
4.24 centimeters.
Yes.
And causing pain and severe discomfort.
Yes.
So what was the advice of the doctor?
So after I had the scan taken, I then went back to the general surgeon, and then he then referred me to one of the gynecologists that works at the hospital. And we just had a face-to-face conversation, and he said, this is a complex cyst. You definitely need surgery for this.
Okay, wow. So they advised that you have surgery. What happened next?
what happened next is that it should be a Thursday when I got the scan taken. And that's when I went back home to my mom and dad. And upon having the conversation, I presented the issue to them as my guardians. I told them that, Mom and Dad, that pain that I've been feeling for the longest time, I went to get a scan taken today and they found a cyst on my right ovary, which is complex and will require surgery. And it has to be done. If not, I don't know.
So what was the response of your parents?
The response of my parents, they're very loving. So, Mom and Dad, I love you so much. Thank you for walking with me through this difficult journey. It has been really difficult, but their response was very comforting for me. It was very comforting in as much as it was stressful. They did it from a place of love. So, my father instantly said that, katende ku church mswesand. As simple as that.
Let's go to church on Sunday.
Yes.
So you drove from, so you were, the scan was done on the 1st?
Yes.
The next Sunday was on the 4th.
Yes.
So you drove from Mutare with your parents and then you came to this place.
Yes, I came to this place on the 4th of February.
Okay. Media team, you can show us the scans and then you can show us the image or the video clip when she had an encounter with the man of God. So that's the scan over there. You can see the date. Your name is there, Rutendo Magomo. And then there is the date it was taken. The blue arrow is showing your bladder. And the red arrow is showing the cyst, which is full of fluid, and that fluid doesn't look like the normal fluid that you would find in a cyst. Okay? And then that circle there, it's like you're peeping the other side. You're just seeing the other ovary on the right, on the other side. Okay, can we have the next clip? The next image. So there's a cyst which has got light, whitish areas and dark areas. So it's a complex cyst which is being shown there in the area that is circled over there. And then they measure it to about 4.2 centimeters. Okay. Can we have the report? So the report was from the sonographer at Mutare Provincial Hospital. Okay. So this is the ultrasound scan of the pelvis done on the 1st of February. Yeah. I'll skip the other comments. There's a comment which says there's a right ovarian complex cyst measuring 4.24 centimeters. The left ovary appears normal. The urinary bladder is normal. Comment, right ovarian complex cyst measuring 4.24 centimeters. So that's the diagnosis that you have. And we know ovarian cysts are not like the usual cysts that we have. The usual cyst is, there is supposed to be an egg in the ovary, and that egg is surrounded by fluid, which we call a follicle. So when the egg is released monthly or at any one point in time during the cycle, usually on day 14, that's when the egg is released. So the cyst, the follicle may remain with fluid and it can start to grow, okay? But usually it disappears. That's a simple cyst. It's just a follicle which enlarges in size. But a complex cyst now, it's not a follicle. It's something which is completely different. A complex cyst, either it can be what we call a dermoid cyst, which is like a tumor on the ovary, which contains skin, normal skin, this skin, and even hairs. You know, the skin has hair follicles, okay?
Oh, that's why they call it complex.
Complex, yes. A complex can also be due to endometriosis. We call it endometrioma if it becomes due to endometriosis. So you now have lining of the uterus being found on the ovary and forming a cyst, okay? And then there's another benign tumor. Benign, we say it's not cancerous, what we call cyst adenoma. So that's the spectrum of complex cysts, okay? And there's a possibility that it can also become malignant. The possibility is there.
What is malignant?
It can become cancerous, okay? The possibility is there. So a complex cyst has to be taken care of surgically because you are not sure of the three, what exactly is it? And it can have malignant or cancerous material. And it's not something that just disappears on its own. If it is to disappear, it will disappear after a long period of time. But we know it causes pain, it causes discomfort, and all the negative effects. So, media team, if you are ready, can you show us the clip when she was ministered to by our Father?
Bahasa, Mazokataliade, Rebabo Sheketebaha, Mazakatalababo Sheketelebe, Mantalababo Sheketebaha, Shakatababaha, Rasakatabo Sheketebaha.
So there you are, the lady in spectacles with a blue top. The lady in spectacles, blue top, it's you. Okay, all right.
Sheketebe, Rasakatabaha, Shatelebabaka, Rikatalababasatabaha, Masokatiabai, Mantelebebe, Sheketebaha, Masakatabahandi, Rikatababashatabaha, Seketelebebe, Rikatayabadosa, Mazetekavaha, Mashakatalabahanda, Mazetele.
So you can see, our Father didn't touch you. He just stared at you for maybe a second or two, and that was it. And then he moved on. And then something started happening.
And if you notice, Doctor, it was a stare and a nod.
Yes.
Our Father
And
just
a nod,
looked,
yes,
and
yeah.
then he nodded. And then soon after, you noticed that the condition was gone, like you said. Maybe you could explain to us the feeling that you had soon after?
So when Baba looked at me, it was like that look that stared right into my soul. And it took some time for me to fall under the power of God. You know, you're trying to like receive and also feel the moment. But right in that instant, I felt like a weight that was on my belly button drop down. And from there, I just fell down under the power of God. And from there, I just stood up, dusted off the dust, and I was normal again. I felt so much relief, and there was no pain in my abdomen.
So you went back to Mutare
Yes, that same day.
that same day.
Yes.
The following Monday, you went to work.
Yes. In fact, I was given off sick. I was like on off sick, so I was not even supposed to report for duty that day. So the sister on duty was like, so you're back at work. Are you now feeling better? I was like, yes, sister, I'm now good. And also during that week, so after the 4th of February, I then went for another scan. And when I went for that, for the scan after the ministration from Baba, there was dead silence in the room.
When they were doing this
When they were doing the scan, because my reproductive system looked normal to the extent that they were looking for the abnormal. They're like, last week we found a cyst. Where is it now?
And the reason being, obviously, they were scanning the abdomen, and if you had had a surgery, they would have seen the scar.
Exactly.
So they were not seeing any surgical scar.
They were not seeing
But
any
at the
surgical
same time,
scar.
they were not seeing the complex cyst.
Exactly. So they really asked me, they were like, what medication were you on? And then I'm like, no, I did not take any medication. Did you drink something? No, I did not. So they were like, did you pray?
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, one thing that they're showing that there is a power that is beyond medication, the power of prayer. And for her, the greatest medication that she had was a prayer that was coming from our Father. It was just a nod. And a nod, like you said, it's like he looked through your soul. And it's like a baton fell out of your belly right on the floor. And I believe that's when your cyst actually fell to the ground. It's amazing, Doctor. Does that usually happen, that someone gets a cyst and then it drops on the floor just like that?
No. It doesn't happen that way in the medical field. And also actually asking her, did you take medication? I thought it was a silly question, because even if she was to take any medication, There is no medication which will make a complex cyst to just disappear. That doesn't happen. Yeah. Okay. So we've got, you had another scan again when you were coming here. So can we see this scan, media team? Okay, so this scan is now done on the 15th of February. So they talk about the uterus is normal in size, measuring, they talk about the measurements. And then they talk about the endometrium, they talk about no cysts. Both ovaries appear normal, okay? Both ovaries are normal. And then at the end, they comment normal pelvic scan. Media team, I think you've got a clip of the scan itself, which talks about the dimensions of the ovaries. You can show us if you are ready. So this is the same scan whose report we were reading. So this one was done on the 15th. We can see the place it was done. There at the corner there, they talk about right ovary, where it's written RT ovary. Right ovary is 2.36 centimeters, which is the normal dimension. Left ovary, 2.33 centimeters. So you can see the difference there is no longer significant. It's 0.03 centimeters.
Which
so
means
the ovaries are now equal in size, and they are now both normal. And this does not happen on its own. It's just a miracle which can do this. You see, they were highlighted where they had measured the ovaries, the right versus the left, and those are the dimensions. And you can see that the ovaries are literally the same size.
So this just took her believing and knowing that there is a place that she can go to, and there is a prophet that is in that place. Exactly. And that is our Father, the man of God, that has been given the anointing by God to deal with all form of complexities in life. She came here with a problem, and she left here a woman without a problem. As a young girl, I know definitely she would want to be comfortable, but all she took was a step of faith to be in this place. And this is the place that all of us are in right now. And no matter the situation that we are in, people of God, we have a man that is beyond a prophet. We have a man that is just beyond any other man of God. Our father once said they are watchers. And these watchers, they speak to God concerning what is happening. And when he nods, he's agreeing to what God is saying about this person. When he shakes his head, he's disagreeing with the situation. And that's exactly what we saw, Doc. And indeed, this resulted in a miracle. And it showed us a different skill of delivery that is within our Father.
Indeed. Finally, my sister, what do you have to say about this God and the men and the women of God that we have in this place?
I am literally amazed by what this anointing can do, because it has proved, all I can say is that it has proved to me that the impossibilities are possible, because it is something that has happened to me and on my body, and also in my field of study. And there are certain things that anatomy and physiology, when it comes to God, it will not make sense. That anatomy, that physiology, it will not correlate with what God can do. God is so amazing. And to our father and mother, first of all, I want to thank Mama Ruth Emmanuel Makandiwa. A few Sundays ago, Baba said something so significant about her. He said that it is another thing to minister to people, and it is a whole other thing to be a minister to the minister. So I want to thank Mama for ministering to our minister. And to the great prophet of our time, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 12, verse 13, it says that by a prophet, Israel was brought up out of Egypt, and by a prophet, Israel was preserved. I have seen myself in my own life that I have been brought out of a place of captivity, of bondage, and I've been preserved through the hands of Emmanuel Makandiwa. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, my sister. People of God, there you are. This is what our God can do. Remember, you are in the place where the man of God is going to come and minister. Just get ready. Anything can happen today. Whatever you're wishing for, whatever you've been praying for, today is today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.